The rain is pouring down outside, and Umemiya is just about to start his fight with Shishitoren's leader, Choji Tomiyama. They stare intensely at each other for a moment before Choji goes back to his silly self and tells him to forget about the last fight and calls it unfair that Fuurin has so many strong guys and that they are nothing like them at all, saying that everyone on his team is weak and because of that he can't be free and calls it no fun. This obviously makes his members a bit mad as they realize that this is how Choji sees them. However, Choji says that if he can win, then Umemiya and the whole of Fuurin will become his. Umemiya is still staying quiet, and Choji says that Umemiya is at the top of Fuurin, which is why he's stronger and freer than anyone else, which in turn is why he's having so much fun. This means that if he can prove that he is stronger than Umemiya, then he can have Fuurin as well, and then he will be free and happier than anyone else. He looks up into the sky and says that his boring life will finally come to an end. Then he quickly switches up and rushes towards Umemiya while telling him to give Choji everything that he has. Choji dashes around like crazy, and Umemiya tries to get in a punch, but Choji just flies around it and gets on top of Umemiya's head. He goes in for a punch, but Umemiya manages to catch Choji's hand and throw him onto the ground. But Choji places his hands on the ground and turns it around by kicking right up against Umemiya. Everyone is amazed by the fight, and Suo says that his movements are insane and that he has never seen anything like this before. Hiragi adds in by saying that he's the youngest to take command in Shishitoren history. While they are talking, Sakura is in his own mind. He thinks back and says that if only Umemiya hadn't stopped him from punching Choji, and on top of that, he's still got a bone to pick with Togame. He's frustrated but determined to become stronger. After that, we get back to the fight, where Umemiya asks Choji if talking about all of his what-if situations isn't going to make it any less difficult for him. Choji's eyes go blank, but he says that he just can't understand what it is that Umemiya is getting at, as he says that he jumps up into the sky and is about to punch Umemiya. However, Umemiya catches Choji's fist and makes him unable to move, and then he gives back one of his own punches. Choji sees that this is coming and dodges right away and jumps backward. Umemiya is a bit frustrated that Choji still doesn't understand what he's trying to say, but then out of nowhere Choji starts to bleed from his nose. He quickly wipes it away, and Umemiya says that if you can't even understand something so simple, then there is absolutely no way that he would lose, and he says that while looking cooler than ever. But after that, the fight goes into a rampage mode, as Choji begins to swing left and right on Umemiya, and every punch seems to land. Umemiya is finally able to kick him away, but he goes right in again. This time he dashes under Umemiya's legs and grabs a hold of his cape and tries to drag him onto the ground. But Umemiya's feet are steady on the ground, and he isn't moving 1 inch as he turns around and tries to give back to Choji, who manages to just in time dodge it. Choji is a bit caught off guard as to why his attack didn't work, and says that he's sure that it connected, but Umemiya says that it's because his fists are powerless. Choji doesn't understand what he means, and Umemiya explains that it's because Choji is mindlessly fighting and isn't fighting for any real reason. Choji once again can't seem to figure out Umemiya's point, and says that he calls his fists powerless, but that he doesn't care about that, because as long as he can beat Umemiya down, none of that will matter. Choji jumps out of rage and says that he will continue to pelt Umemiya with his fists until he's had enough. He throws the first punch but misses, and he then tries to go for Umemiya's feet. Umemiya quickly moves away, but that leaves him open for Choji to give him a real uppercut. However, Umemiya asks if he wasn't clear before and says that it isn't working as he slams Choji into the ground. All of the audience is left speechless as they can't do anything but watch. After a while, Choji gets up and screams that it hurts and that he's going to get his freedom no matter what he has to do. He throws another reckless punch, which Umemiya dodges with ease. He moves to the side and asks what freedom means for Choji. Choji throws a kick towards him and says that it means having fun. Umemiya then hits him with another question and asks him what it means to have fun. Choji is getting a bit annoyed, but says that it means fighting strong guys like he's doing right now. He gets a punch on Umemiya's face, but Umemiya doesn't mind that, and instead says that it doesn't look like Choji is having fun right now. Choji is extremely mad right now, but Umemiya explains that he doesn't actually understand anything about himself, which is why he feels empty, and that he's obsessed with what could have happened and what should have happened, saying that it's hard stuff like that, which really makes him feel sad, and tells Choji that he feels sorry for him. Choji's face is getting extremely frustrated as he leaps to attack Umemiya. But Umemiya continues talking, and says that even more than the sympathy he has for you, he has for Choji's team, which has a leader like him. He tells him that it doesn't matter what the reasons are, but he is still their leader, and letting the guys under him have a feared facial expression like Togame's is his sign of failure. After that, we get to Nire, who says that he's extremely glad that he came to Fuurin, and that they have Umemiya as their leader. Choji is bleeding from his mouth, but thinks about what Umemiya said. He thinks back to when he and his friends were all smiling, saying that it was a while ago, and wonders what they look like now. But when he thinks about it, he can't see any facial expressions, as their faces are covered by a type of smoke. Choji starts saying that he doesn't know, and tells them all to shut up. He gets so mad that he screams out of anger. After he has pulled some strings out of his hair, he says that it's whatever, and that he doesn't need Umemiya anymore, and that in fact, he doesn't need anything anymore. His members are extremely caught off guard by this. They say that they have never seen Choji like this, and that he is so scary that even Togami isn't able to recognize him anymore. Choji is like a beast, as he's just going and isn't backing down at all as he tries to get in a punch on Umemiya. After a while, he finally gets in one, which makes Umemiya fall down on the ground. Choji jumps on top of him and throws multiple punches toward Umemiya's face. The Shishitoren members wonder if they should do anything, but they wonder why Umemiya isn't fighting back. Suddenly, someone screams and asks Umemiya what the hell he is doing. It's Sakura who says that Umemiya is the one who was boasting about winning this thing, and asks why he's just lying there. But then both Hiragi and Sugishita tell him to shut up and just watch, which shocks Sakura. We get back to Choji, who's still punching Umemiya while crying. Suddenly, Umemiya says that he's sorry, and that he didn't mean to push him over the edge like this, but says that this shows how close he was to the brink of snapping. Choji punches him again and tells him to shut up, but Umemiya continues and says that if he keeps spiraling in despair, then he will end up destroying everything from here on out. Choji can't keep listening to Umemiya's meaningless talk and screams for him to shut up again and again, even going as far as biting his neck, which leaves everyone stunned. Umemiya starts to bleed from his neck, but he takes his hand around Choji's head and pulls him close, telling him that it's okay and that the answer is there in his heart. Choji quickly escapes and says that he doesn't know what he is talking about. Umemiya starts to slowly get up and asks if Choji remembers when Fuurin and Shishitoren duked it out, saying that in the end, it was all just a misunderstanding. They think back to it, and the Shishitoren members thank Choji for saving them and call him stupidly strong. Choji just laughs and says that he's glad that he could help. Then he turns around and says that it was super fun and asks Umemiya to do it again sometime. Umemiya says that back then, Choji's fists were a lot heavier, and they had a lot more power than they have now. Before he was dazzling and shining a lot brighter than he is now, it looked like Choji was having a lot more fun as well. Choji's eyes start to tear up again, and Umemiya gets up on his feet and gets closer to Choji. Choji doesn't know what to do, so he tells him not to get near him and kicks him, but it doesn't have any real effect as he stands still. Choji is confused and starts to put his arms around his face, but Umemiya takes his hands around Choji's face, and Choji suddenly feels some sort of warmth around Umemiya's hands. Umemiya asks Choji to think back to the old days and tells him that it is what he needs to be at the top. Togame, who is watching from afar, thanks Umemiya, but then Umemiya headbutts Choji and tells him to remember. Choji falls slowly to the floor and wonders what happened and why everyone stopped smiling, saying that it looks like they were having so much fun and asking them to let him join, as well as why he falls unconscious to the floor. After that, we get into a flashback where we see Choji petting a stray cat. His friends came to pick him up, and they had a good time when all of them were smiling and laughing. But suddenly, after they had walked for a bit, Choji turned around and saw that everyone had disappeared. After that, he wakes up and sees Togame, who has a sad facial expression on himself. He looks around and realizes that he lost to Umemiya, but he doesn't care about that. As he tells Togami about his dream, he says that he saw them a long time ago, and that everyone was smiling. He tells Togami that it's been a long time since he's felt something like that, and with that, he is able to realize that at that time, he had lots of fun when everyone was laughing together. So he asks Togami to get rid of his sad expression and smile instead. This makes Togami emotional as he apologizes to Choji. He says that he left him all alone, and while he never understood why he was suffering the whole time, he decided to distance everyone from him. He started to hurt the whole team and make them hate him so that Choji wouldn't be the one to hurt them. He tells Choji that he is his paragon and that he can't let that essence crumble. Togame wanted Choji to achieve the ideal world where he was beloved by everyone around him, which is why on that rainy day, even though he knew it was wrong, he turned away from Choji. But later, thanks to Sakura, he was made to realize that as a member of Shishitoren, he should have confronted Choji and thrown everything he could at him for what Togame believed in. He apologizes that he didn't fight Choji or that he didn't talk with him. He looks really sad and then apologizes for abandoning him. When Togame is done, it's Choji's turn, as he says that he honestly believed that being the top of the team meant that he would have the most fun. He had his eyes on the treasure chest on top of the mountain and was eager to take it. He thought that having the treasure himself meant that he would become freer than anyone else. But when he opened the chest, there was nothing inside of it, and Choji felt nothing at all. Because of that, he was scared. He felt like he was hollowed out, and he didn't know where he should go next. He started to feel nothing, no matter what he did, and everything became meaningless, and he started to blame it on everyone else, telling Togame that he didn't take anything away, but that it was Choji himself who said that there's no place for anyone else. He says that thinking back to when everyone was laughing like idiots with each other, it was probably the most fun he's ever had, and he finally realized that for this whole time, he was already free, but that he couldn't see it at that time, and because of that, he broke it himself, calling himself really stupid. Togame tries to say that he is wrong and that it was his fault, but Choji puts his hand on Togame's face, and he thanks Togame for protecting him all this time, apologizing and saying that it must have hurt as he suffered so much. After that, both of them start to cry while apologizing. Anyway, yeah, this was the fight between Umemiya and Choji. I really hope that you enjoy this video, as I had a blast making it. Please tell me down below what you thought about this fight. Personally, I thought that it was amazing. If you like anime and videos like this, then I would highly suggest you subscribe to this channel. And while you are at it, leave a comment and a like, as it helps out with the algorithm a ton. And if you are curious to see another video of mine, then please watch the video that will be popping up on the screen now. Anyway, thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye.